MBA is in your mind, wondering how worth it will it be for your career, wondering whether it's only helpful if you do a tier 1 college. Are you also somebody who's possibly considering a career switch but are worried, यार मुझे इसमें ज़्यादा पैसे मिलेंगे उसमें शायद कम मिलेंगे? And specifically, are you somebody who's interested in marketing and are wondering what are the aspects of today? How is it that people from finance, IT, engineering are coming into marketing? And you definitely have to check out this podcast where we've addressed all these topics at length. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanishka and I hope you all are doing good. Today we're back with another podcast with a very special person, a man who's continuously learning and evolving, whose career graph started from a school educator today being one of the top professors in MBA colleges across Bombay. It's a career graph that I think we all can take inspiration. The marketing man, the man who can make everybody smile in his lectures and otherwise, none other than Mr. Kapil Bhatia, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Great.
I
Good
think
to see you in this way. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's life coming a full circle. For all of you who do not know, Kapil sir was my school teacher. Like I said, when I was in 12th grade, high school teacher to put it across. And today, seeing sir being an MBA professor in two of the most esteemed colleges in Bombay, one a full-time professor in Chetna Institute and a visiting faculty, I would say, NMIMS, is just so heartwarming because I don't think I've had a more inspiring teacher than you, Kapil sir.
Thank you.
So, are you excited, sir? Let's
yeah, kind of excited and nervous. My student taking my interview. So obviously it's a little, you are putting in a different, what do you call it, in a different situation. So till now I was examining you and I was taking your classes and I was taking your vivas. Today I feel that I am being interviewed by you. So nonetheless, but I think I'm glad that you are, doing this and it may, at least my, this video may help in any way to anybody. It will be an honor for me. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
So, sir, I will start from your educational background. I have seen, and obviously everybody will be aware from now, you started your journey by studying tax management. Correct me if I was wrong.
No, tax management was one of the elements.
One of the elements. Okay.
So I don't know where should I start from because my education has never been been at end so that my career starts. So along with my career, my education is going on.
Correct.
So you said that I started as a school teacher, but I'll just correct you because you know me as a school teacher.
Maybe.
My first 10 years of career have been into banking. Wow. So I started with retail. Okay, so I was a CCA, that is a customer care associate with Shoppers Stop. I worked for a little while in luxury watches in Rivoli company in Dubai. And then I came back to India and my mainstream career started with banking. Okay. So 10 years I spent in banking, almost 3 years into IT in Oracle. So I worked with banks like ICICI Bank, HSBC, HDFC Bank, then moved to IT in Oracle. And then I started my teaching journey as a full-time teacher. Okay, so that was my career graph. When I started teaching, I did not have any teaching degree. So that was the school in Rajkot called as the Galaxy Education System, TGES we call. And they always look for professionals who are who are passionate about teaching and not merely fresh BEds or whatever. So that is how I got into full-time teaching. I started with 8th grade teaching mathematics. And Gujarati language was my love, so I also taught a little bit of Gujarati poetries and all to the students there. And then is when you met me, when I joined Podar, being back in Mumbai. So almost 5 years I was with Leelavati Bai Podar High School and then teaching you 11th and 12th grade commerce and business studies and economics, I guess.
Well, I was the most troublesome student who hated studying theory.
Nothing like that.
Remember, thank God.
But I think I had a good memories with Podar and good memories with you also as a student. So I never find any student troublesome. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes about subjects and courses that they undertake. So I think that's my duty as a teacher, to make my subject interesting.
Okay. So you said, especially now, you said that you were in the banking sector, you were in the IT sector as well, and then you shifted to teaching. I would like to assume, and most of us today also are in the assumption that banking or IT pays a lot, right, as compared to maybe teaching, without taking away anything from this career. So why that switch? Was it only passion? Do you think that was enough for you to switch it? Do you think you had the resources to take that gamble in your life? Like, how would you take that call? Because today a lot of people have passions, but they're scared to take it forward because of monetary constraints or feelings that I will possibly be paid more if I do a CA or a CFA.
Correct. I I definitely was a teacher by heart since childhood. Okay, I wanted to pursue teaching also, but during that time when we were fresh graduates and all that, or when we passed out our 10th standard, your dad will say, oh, you cannot take arts because you are a male, you are a
Right.
boy, you cannot take arts. What will teaching give you?
Right.
Now this was always there, it is still there to a certain extent. I can say that teaching doesn't pay well. Being the most noble job also, it's a sad thing in our country that
Right.
teaching doesn't pay well. However, now the things are changing, because there are multiple avenues where even academicians and teachers can basically undertake e-learning and learning resources. And I'm a visiting faculty also.
Right.
I'm a full-time faculty here. So there are multiple ways in which you can explore your income sources. However, you should be ready to put in a little bit of hard work. Coming to my teaching career, it wasn't a gamble, but yes, I had a big drop in my first salary when I started teaching. So it was almost half of the salary what I would have gotten Oracle otherwise. But to be very honest, I did not enjoy IT. In my banking career, I was very happy. IT maybe was to be very honest, it was a mistake, or a career
Correct.
mistake of my life, where I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And since the time I was in my MBA, one of my professors, Dr. Shweta Dikshit, she gave me an opportunity to teach at my institution, NMIMS itself.
Yeah.
And that is where I discovered that no, I can teach, I can do it well. And uh, once I decided that I don't want to be in the corporate world, I took the jump into teaching. I wouldn't call it a gamble. It may be a calculative decision. In the short run, there may be some financial, drawbacks or whatever. But then eventually, life is all about enjoying what you're doing. So I think I don't regret joining the teaching career.
Which is very important.
Yeah, financially, I may have been better if I would have been in a corporate, definitely.
Correct.
Yes, but I do not regret my teaching career. So that is one thing I would like to draw my attention on.
Also, is it
Draw your
safe
attention on.
to
Yeah.
say that after so many years, if you're really, so determined that you want to do something, you find ways to make it work out, so that you keep your passion and you also make a fair amount of money to sustain yourself. So is that also something that maybe we can conclude it that way?
Yeah, you can say that. See, ultimately in economics, I must have taught you, wants are unlimited, resources are
Correct.
always limited.
Correct.
So you will never get full content out of what you are earning or what money you would have otherwise earned. But overall, I think it's a good. Choice that I made for myself. Now I cannot vouch this for everybody and for all the people around. It depends on person to person how contented you are with your life. And of course, there should always be a work-life balance. Today we see a lot of youngsters, spending too much time work, not exercising, not having time for themselves, not having time for their family. They see their children, growing suddenly. Now that doesn't happen that way.
Correct.
So many a times you need to make a balance between what you are liking. There is a Japanese concept called as ikigai, if you've heard of. So where is your exact balance striking? That is something that we need to, kind of take care of for ourselves.
Fair. Taking this one step forward, now you are, like I already mentioned in the introduction, teaching in MBA colleges in Bombay. In fact, you're visiting faculty at NMIMS, which is considered in a lot of departments the top 10 as well. So I want to ask you, there are a lot of people in the world, let alone India, who still have that, MBA is one of the most desirable degrees that you can hold, right? It has a certain, how to put this out, certain reputation that it carries that, oh, I've done an MBA, right? However, in India especially, there's a notion that, it only matters if you do it from a certain number of colleges or a certain name of colleges, otherwise it's useless. There's a lot of effort that goes to it. Even if I count the most basic, the CAT exam, right? It's very, very hard. Even people with 99 percentile sometimes are crying. Do you think after teaching in this department or the MBA department for so long, doing MBA yourself, that the effort, the cost that we're putting into it, or the maybe not the right word, but the mental drainage that one is going through to reach the end of it, is it equally beneficial to what you're gonna reap out in the future? Or do you think that maybe, there is a certain line where you should draw? It's not really as worth it or as beautiful as people are making it sound.
Okay, now I have, since your question is itself is long, I will give you a long answer also.
I know.
Okay, there is nothing like right, wrong, what is being perceived and what it actually is and all that, and whether MBA is important to be successful or no, whether MBA, if you don't do MBA, are you lacking something or no? These all aspects are very, very subjective in themselves. Okay, so I'll just speak something in Hindi. अगर तुम्हारे में हुनर है, अगर खुद में हुनर है, तो कामयाबी तुम्हारे कदम चूमती ही है. तुम कुछ भी करो,
100%.
right? So if you are talented, your talent can be shown anywhere. So there are a lot of, I can give you hundreds of examples where there are college dropouts but millionaires.
Right.
You can see so many examples. We have this, okay, Apple and Steve Jobs and this and that and all. We see all these things. However, management is all about how do you, I must have taught you when I was teaching commerce, I remember. How would you define management? So, management is the art of getting things done through and with people in formally organized groups is a definition. But ultimately, you break down this word management. What is management? Managing men tactfully. Now, without a degree, you can do it. With a degree, you can improvise it. And ultimately, management, leadership, all these are concepts that can be learned, that can be revised, that can be rechanged, and that can be relearned.
Correct.
So whether MBA is important and whether it is a fashionable word or no, I wouldn't comment on it. I myself am a professor who is teaching MBA students.
Right.
So MBA is important or MBA is not important. It is fashionable or it is not fashionable. All these are various aspects. But when a person goes, see, a lot of engineers also do MBA.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, being in an engineering background, you're constantly learning physics, sciences, and mathematics, and things like that. But when it comes to managing men, you need some management. Okay, you may be some skill sets. So management is an opportunity to learn these skill sets, and I would say that a lot of management colleges these days are not only focusing on theory or only focusing on theoretical rote-learned definitions and all that. There is a lot of practical application that goes into it. There are industrial visits, there are summer internships, there are projects, there are presentations, there are placements. So many things are attached with it that I wouldn't call MBA as a fashionable word. Coming to the second point, whether it is worth it or no, you will find it worth if you are dedicated. Now, whether you learn music, whether you learn dance, whether you learn management, whether you learn commerce, whether you learn engineering, everything is meaningful, everything is, everything is rewarding if you are dedicated. 100%. So, there are musicians who do Visharad in music, Indian music, classical music. Don't they earn? So if they are dedicated, if they are, if they are focused, then they can earn their living out of anything. So I wouldn't define success only in terms of money. So worth, when you say something worth, it's about money. But when you say value, it's about your own learning, it's about your own dedication and how much you are able to get benefits out of what you've learned. Okay. So that's my point of view.
Taking from this question itself, before I go to the next phase, in India, like I also mentioned that question, there is this notion from a lot of people that either you do it from the tier 1 or बिल्कुल ही मतलब आपकी life waste हो जाएगी, कोई फायदा नहीं है ये सब करने का. What are your thoughts on that? Does it really matter so much from which college you're doing it?
To an extent, yes, but it does not mean that if you are not getting into a tier 1 college, you are useless, you are worthless. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So you may have these rankings, rankings of the colleges which grade some colleges into very high, institutes or ranking institutes. Some may be mediocre, some may be low. Now that really depends. As I already told you that अगर तुम्हारे में हुनर है, तो you can succeed any which ways. So there are certain, people who may graduate from very, renowned colleges, but yet they are not that successful.
Correct.
Okay, there are some who go from a from a mediocre institute, yet they are very successful, maybe in India, maybe outside India, whatever. So I wouldn't judge anybody, or I wouldn't say that an institution is good or bad. uh, there are certain rankings on the basis of which you get admissions, on the basis of which your intellect is measured, and then you
Correct.
get admissions and all that. So these are all protocols which, to maintain their rankings, they have to follow.
Correct.
But I wouldn't say that, okay, if you don't get in a particular institution, then you are not worth your not worth yourself, or your MBA is not worth. It's not that.
It will still hold the
It
same
will
value
still hold the
eventually.
value if you are dedicated and your learning is coming out of it. Otherwise, there would be only IIMs, no?
Correct.
But it's not that there are only IIMs. There is NMIMS, there is Chetnas, there is SP Jain, there is Verinkers, there are Dalmias, and these are just a name few that I remember for Mumbai colleges.
Yeah.
But then there are so many other management institutes budding, cropping up in so many other cities. So you have to somewhere decide whether that post graduation degree is going to add value to your learning curve or no, and that only you can decide whether you want that learning curve or you don't want that learning curve.
Correct. And I think just taking from that, just adding, not a question, that if you, like you also said, if you are willing to learn, तो even if it's not about the placements, आपको वैसे भी बाहर जाके भी job मिल ही जाएगा. If you have the skill, then there's no chance. Maybe it will take a year longer, 2 years longer, but जो मिलना होगा, and अगर आप skilled हो, तो you will anyways get it with the same thing that you deserve, whether from an IIM or from anywhere for that matter.
Correct. However, to polish your skills, to have a little bit more advantage, see, there is always an incremental value to your learning, right?
Yes.
So when we say that, okay, suppose you are interviewing me and I say that I'm a graduate with 3 years of experience, and there is a postgraduate with 3 years of experience, whom would you want to select? A graduate with 3 years of experience, or a postgraduate with 3 years of? Why?
Because I'll feel like maybe he has a 3 years
little
of experience,
incremental
maybe
value.
extra
There is definitely an
studying.
incremental value of education. I always believe that knowledge is never wasted. So MBA being worth is not the question. You find your worth in whatever you are doing. That is the question.
Right.
Definitely MBA or PG or management level graduation or post graduation definitely adds value to your learning.
Yes.
So that's what I think.
So again, taking it to the next phase, I remember in 2018 when I had started my CFA journey, there was a teacher I will not name, and he had said this thing that अगर आपने CFA कर लिया and you do an MBA in marketing, not MBA in finance, surprisingly, you'll be a complete package, because you'll have the technical skills that the finance people need, and you'll develop those presentation skills, that creativity skills, etc. And today, in fact, especially today se zyada I would say post COVID, we're seeing a lot of people come to marketing. I mean, marketing has suddenly bloomed, I would say, especially from what it was before. Not that it was any less, but it has really like taken a shape. You are a teacher in this field specifically. What are your thoughts on that? Do you really think that yes, it is blooming, and do you really think that somebody from a very technical background, like you also mentioned, engineers come and do this, it is very beneficial for them?
So